It's the grind. It's the grind. It's the grind. It's the grind.
You see people who do big things and you automatically say, that guy's so lucky, she's so lucky. You don't know that. You're assuming that. Going to work every day for 20 years and grinding your ass off and then becoming a multi-millionaire, that's not luck. That's action and reaction. Quit using the word luck, quit believing in luck, and start believing in work. Start believing in results that come from your actions.
I'll tell you what wasn't luck, and that's that 50,000 screaming young fans turned up at Randwick on Saturday for Everest Day, and full kudos to everyone at Racing New South Wales and the ATC. What a show they put on. And that's been years in the planning. When the idea first came about, there was plenty of people out there who said it wouldn't work, but full credit, what an atmosphere it was out there, and how great for racing as well to see all those young fans. And a lot of people will say now, how do we keep them in racing? And that is the big question. How do we keep those young fans coming back to racing? And that's $1 million question that I'm not going to get into on this episode of The Grind. But what is fantastic is that they just showed up and they were out at the track as well, which is just so, those scenes, they're just so good. So good. And getting Ka Ying rising over from Hong Kong as well just added so much international flavour. He's the best sprinter in the world, and he showed it on Saturday as well. So tick, tick, boom, let's go and get into this episode of The Grind. Firstly, I'll get into some analysis a bit later, but firstly, I want to get into multis and explain the reason why bookies love laying multis and why punters, I think, shouldn't take multis, and I don't take multis. But when I was so multis came about really through corporate bookies out at the track 20 years ago. Nobody ever mentioned a multi. A multi was never taken. A double would be taken, which is a form of a multi, but it was like a Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup, or the big races. You'd take a cups double. But nowadays, everyone's into multis, whether it be same game multis, same race multis, or just straight up multis. And I'm not going to talk about the same game and same race ones. I'm just talking about the parlays or the multis that you'll take. And the reason why they are such poor value, and I just want to, on the back of the Everest, with so many young fans going out there, I just want to give a little gambling lesson as to the percentages. I'll make it as quick as possible and make it as easy as possible, but just staying with multis. So if you have three legs that you want to take in the multi, leg A, leg B, leg C, race 1, 2, 3, and they're all $2, say 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So $8 for a 3-leg multi. The first reason why multis are not good value is because, or I don't think you should be taking multis, is because of the staking. So if you have $100 on that multi at $8 to win $700, what you're essentially doing is you're having $100 on the first leg, race 1. If it wins, you're putting $200 on the second leg. So you won $100 on the first if it wins, $200 on the second. If it wins, you win $200. And then you're putting $400 on the third leg. If it wins, you're winning $400. So it's essentially 3 different bets. Race 1 for $100, race 2 for $200, and race 3 or leg 3 for $400. So the reason why that isn't smart is because you're not staking correctly. You're having 100, 200, 400, and there's no even amounts in the staking. So if 2 of those legs win, leg 1 and leg 2 win, and leg 3 gets beat, you're losing your $100. Whereas if you followed the staking plan, or my simple staking plan of to win $200 with a maximum bet of $100, yes, you would be outlaying $300 on that, but you would finish $100 in front. You'd win 100 on the first leg, 100 on the second leg, and you would lose 100 on the third leg. So you would finish $200 in front instead of $100 behind. But on the multi, you did have a chance to win more money, yes, but the chances of you getting the 3 legs up aren't great. It's 7 to 1. So it's 14% chance you're going to get that multi up. If you didn't want to invest the $300, if you only wanted to invest $100, you're better off having 33, 33, 33. And in that case, you would have won $33 instead of losing your $100. So it's about staking correctly for your selections. And this is just for people who are interested in winning. If you want to have a multi, fine. Multis are fun. I get it. But on the grind, we're looking at ways to win. Second reason why multis, I believe, aren't great value is because you've got to take them all in the same place. And this is what a lot of people don't know, believe it or not, nowadays, are bookies do bet different prices. Bookies bet different prices. So if we just go back to the Everest and have a look, here you've got usually it's 3 different tabs. It was Whirlpool, so it's all the same. But usually there's a New South Wales. So if we just go to Wodonga race here, for example, you'll see New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland. These are all different pools. There's only 9,600 in the New South Wales pool, 13,000 in the Victorian pool, and 4,000 in the Queensland pool. If we just go back to the Everest and have a look what other options are available, this is the Betfair market. Carrying Rising was $2.10. You can see on the Whirlpool, and I'm going to go through this Whirlpool afterwards and have a look what happened when all the horses were in the barriers. But here we've got all the bookies as well, and there's a lot of bookies. I'm not suggesting getting accounts with 30 different bookies, but if you can have accounts with a few different ones and just try and use your different boosts and also your deposit matches and also just comparing the odds. So we can see here Unibet was leading the way at 210 on Carrying Rising. Bluebet or Better was leading the way at $13 on Briasa. You had Better $51 on Overpass. So you can see the different odds. Boombet $14.20 on Jimmy. The tab was top odds $11 on War Machine. So you can see the different forms where you can get the different prices. But what my point was, if I'm taking a multi, I'm not getting the top odds because I've got to take it in one place. So instead of I might be betting with a tab, for example. I want Carrying Rising into linebacker into half yours. I'm taking their odds on all 3, whereas I could be taking the 210 Carrying Rising with Unibet. I could be taking the 340 linebacker with Ladbrokes. I could be taking the $3 half yours with Better. So then I'm staking correctly. And now I'm also getting the right price. And that's what you need to do to win. The other thing with multis is they're all put on at the same time. I don't place all my bets at the same time. I shop around and try and work out when I think the horse has reached its peak. So that's multis. That's why I think they're a bad bet. I don't take them. When they are good value or when the only time I think that they are good value is if you see an incorrect price and you want to get more on, and you've got a good account that allows multis, and you can have a bit of a crack, and you might be $7, and you want to have more than what the limits will usually allow. That's mainly for pros where they might take a horse that they really like or a footy team they really like into something shorter to try and get more money down on that option. But once again, it's hard to do. The second leg can get beat. I don't really do it, but that's one reason why somebody may take a multi who is a pro punter. So let's move on. Another great race on Saturday was the Caulfield Cup. I was doing my money. Well, I lost my money on Saturday anyway, but I got a bit back on the Caulfield Cup on half yours, which was a good result. Let's just have a look at half yours. I took $3. Half yours came in and came into 230 at one point, started 250, 260 with Ladbrokes, 272 Betfair, but did come as short. Let's see how short Ladbrokes got, if I can, half yours, because I remember looking. No, there's too many flux there. You can't see. Oh, Tab got into 225, but I remember seeing you could have got 10,000 out of half yours on Betfair at around $2.30 at one point when I looked. But why I want to talk about the Caulfield Cup is how it was run from a Melbourne Cup point of view and what to look for a little bit when you're analysing, doing a bit of video work, and what I think was a really good run out of this. So next Monday, I won't be doing the grind. I'm going to do episode 3 of the Melbourne Cup preview, really sink my teeth into the Cup. From a personal point of view, I was actually happy Sir Delius was scratched just from betting, nothing to do with, Racing Victorious or the decisions around the scratching. Obviously, that's a completely different topic. And I'm just talking about from purely a betting point of view and personally from my personal point of view. I was happy he was scratched because he was coming in and dominating the market. And he looked very hard to beat, I thought. So $3.50 was getting into his price, which is pretty skinny. I didn't think we'd be getting a lot of value about him. Now it's really opened the market back up. And I had a look at this Caulfield Cup, and I'm really interested in a few runs out of this race. I'm just gonna roll the tape here and have a look at this race. So Adelaide River really opens them up here. This is about the 1,000-meter mark, I think, or the 800. Adelaide River goes hell for leather here and opens the race up. And I just want to go through. So they're obviously going above average tempo here. They're going pretty fast. I haven't got any numbers through from the Caulfield Cup, but Adelaide River, that's Banker's Choice in second, Plymouth's in third, Revelare's in fourth. River of Stars is the horse here in the green that I want you to keep your eye on. Ends up running second on the fence. Deacon in sixth and Vauban in seventh. So as you can see, Half Yours as well is getting a nice run back in the pack. Gets a split for Jamie Carr. Great ride here in the black cap. 3 out. Gets a split and goes away. This is River of Stars who's hit the. This is River of Stars. Sorry, getting up the fence now into hitting the lead now, and ends up running second. Half Yours runs over the top of River of Stars. But the point of this I want to make, there's some great runs behind this, which I'll go into next Monday. But the point that I want to make right now is around video analysis. And I just want to talk about those horses that I mentioned then. So Adelaide River led, ran 12th. Banker's Choice sat second, ran 16th. Plymouth sat third, ended up 15th. Rivellare sat fourth, ended up 17th. Deacon sat sixth, ended up 8th. Vauban sat seventh, ended up 13th. River of Stars, who was 100-1, finished second. So River of Stars has beaten all those horses back here. The next best was Deacon, but River of Stars has beaten them by, I don't know, a couple of lengths, and the rest were well back. So what I'm trying to say is River of Stars was better than it looked. River Stars' run there was better than it looked because the race wasn't run to suit him so much, whereas Half Yours was back in the pack, got the split. Yes, the acceleration was dynamite, but there's some runs behind Half Yours here were very good, which I'll go through next Monday as well. I really like the way the race, I really like the way the Melbourne Cup's shaping up, and I'm really looking forward to having a crack. I got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to backing the winner. I'm looking forward to having a crack first, and then I'm looking forward to backing the winner second. Let's just go back and talk about the World Pool, because there's a lot of talk about how these horses were going to pay over the odds and pay crazy prices. And I said before the race, the pros won't let that happen. They never do. Hong Kong, they never do. Yeah, you'll get the odd over here and there, but it's not a huge over. So let's just go and have a look in reality what happened afterwards. So when all the horses were in the barriers, or there was 10 seconds to go, there was about $4 million in the World Pool. And when it finished, there was 6. So it went from 4 million up to 6 million. So $2 million extra dollars, an extra third of the pool was created virtually by that pro money and that late money that goes in when all the horses were in the barrier. I think Kaying Rising was $1.30, kicked out to $1.45. Briasa ended up $13, $15 Betfair, no overs. Overpass 49, 60s Betfair, no overs. Jimmy 16 against 18 Betfair, no overs. War Machine 14 against 13. So there's slide overs if you're using Betfair as your barometer, which is a very true and accurate market of what the true chances of each horses are. And just on that point as well, if you're trying to improve your punting, and on this show I talk so much about odds and how odds matter. I know people who make money out of gambling and they do no form at all. All they do are good gamblers and get the right odds. It's not all about form sometimes, it's about getting the odds. So if you want to measure what odds you're taking, do it against this Betfair SP, or if you don't have access to that, do it against the bookies SP, and just check how you're going against that SP as well, because the SPs are generally the most accurate form. They're definitely the most accurate form of measurement about how you're going at placing your bets, whether you're beating that SP. So if you're taking better than these prices constantly, luck will prevail, as in you'll win over the long term if you can stick at it and your staking's correct. You're not going to have bad luck for the rest of your life. I wouldn't think. Jimmy, where were we? So War Machine 13. But bookies did put up 15 tab bet early. They did bet 20s when the markets came out. Ladbrokes bet 15. So it was a big go, War Machine. 15 into 13. Whirlpool 14. Marzu 200 to 1. Jeddah 195 against 360 on Betfair. Angel Capital was a bit of overs on the Whirlpool. $30 Betfair, paid 36. Now, Jolly Star was paying around, I think around $8 when all the horses were in the barriers and trading around that 620. Pro smashed down to 660. Yes, we're still an over off Betfair around 620, but Betfair did get out and was trading around that 720 mark for a lot and really got crunched down late. As you can see, Tab bet about 7, Ladbrokes bet about 7. So bookies did bet a bit better than that if you had a shopped around as well. Lady Shenandoah, Boombet leading the way the whole way, $16.20. They really didn't like Lady Shenandoah, who I was on. I took about 17 Betfair, so no real overs there. Magic Time around that 100 to 1 mark. And Tempted as well around the Betfair SP. Bookies only gave about 17 or 18. About Tempted, paid 19. So as you can see, and it's due to the percentage, there's 123% in the Whirlpool after roundings, 123.4%. Bookies around the 117. You can see 115 Boombet, 115 Better, 119 Ladbrokes, 116 Unibet, who are always competitive with horses in the market. You can see Unibet were top odds about Carying Rising. They're a bookie who always has an opinion, which is great to see, and want to lay favourites as well. So there it is. There it is. So even with that favourite paying $1.45, there wasn't huge overs, little bit of overs here and there, but there wasn't huge overs as predicted. Let's move on to Saturday and go through a few races. So what I want to do is go through a few races and measure it back against what's happened overall. Few races mainly where I was wrong or didn't find the winner. I'm not so much interested in the races I'm right. So I got half yours right. That's great. We know why. We spoke about it on BetMax. Let's not go there. Let's go to Private Eye. And I want to find races that were big goes. So Private Eye was Caulfield race 8. Let's just go and have a look at the betting fluctuations. And then we'll go and have a look at the form on Saturday, the King Zone on Saturday, and what factors came out, and then rerun those factors and have a look at them. So Private Eye, 270 tab gave into $1.95. Ladbrokes gave as much as $3, $3.10 about Private Eye. They were heavily against Private Eye from what I could see, and they were top odds Private Eye the whole way, Ladbrokes as well. And they're another bookie, especially on a Saturday, that really takes an opinion against a lot of these favourites as well. And we'll bet over Betfair. Righto, this feature on the King Zone, if you haven't gone and checked the past races, you can now. So select a date here. You don't have to be a member or a paid member to do this. Anyone can do it. So let's go back to Saturday, the 18th of October. Saturday, the 18th of October, Caulfield race number 8. So Caulfield race 8. Let's go and have a look at Private Eye. So the results are here now, but what else is here is everything else. So if you're a paid member on Saturday, this is what you saw from Kingsley Selections down. So I had Payline on top, which I backed Payline. Private Eye second pick from Warney and here to Shock. I'm just going to go. I'm not going to go through the whole race and go into the whole race. What I want to do is go through these factors. So I had Private Eye 270. The open was 240, smashed into betting 205. So I didn't have Private Eye short enough in hindsight. Let's see the factors and what I came up with. So Class speed weight, rank of 1, a rank 2 acceleration, rank 1 cam, peak rating last start, hot time race last start, easier race last start, and a class edge as well. So easier race, going into an easier race with a class edge. Those are two big ticks for me on a Saturday. And now the reason why, the negatives, the reason why I probably have this price a little bit longer, predicted pace negative. So there's a lot of pace in this race, and I thought that it wouldn't suit Private Eye. Private Eye also getting a bit older, and with fifth up this prep, thought was a little bit of a risk. But what I'm finding, especially on these Saturdays in these higher race strength races, and this race strength number is available to you as well if you go up here and have a look. At the race strength, you can see a race strength of 94. Anything over 95 is elite. Anything over 90 is Saturday class. So the way I look at Saturday class, I go sort of 90 and above. This was 94. So what I was saying is anything over 90 on the Saturdays for the big goes, I really find that class, which makes a lot of sense, class edge, if you see that factor, they're often very, very well backed. So what I want to do is go into the analysis tool and run class edge here and just have a look how it goes by itself. And then I'm going to run it with that 90 and above. So let's get over here and have a look. These are the official tips while I've got them here, while I've got you. 12th of June, we launched. Saturday, is that Saturday? Yeah. No, Sunday, sorry. To Sunday the 12th. It's a losing weekend. Unfortunately, Saturday and Sunday was losing weekend, but we've had a couple of winning ones before that. So we'll get back on track next weekend, hopefully, or even today we'll get back on track. This is a 7-day-a-week operation. 1860 bets, we're plus 4.5. Let's get to what I'm talking about now, and that is class edge. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go into the advanced filters. I'm going to reset it. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go with class edge. So I'm matching this up, just having a look at how we've gone just purely off these factors, which are available to anyone who has access to the site. So there's been 6,000, 7,000, call it, very small profit. This is about an average of -5, so it is doing better than the average of 5.5%, but there's no real profit. If we go to here to the race strength, I'm going to put in 90, which I just spoke about, to 200. So these are in higher class races, which that race then Private Eyes was 94, and run that. We'll see that it jumps up. So there's been 250. So what this means is there's been 250 horses in race strength races of 90 or higher since we launched on June the 12th that have a class edge factor like here with Private Eye, and the profit at high price from when they're released is 7%. So you can see that's working. And that's the reason, apart from these other ones as well, I think that there was just so much with Private Eye. It was just a class above, and he had those figures, the CAM and the CSW, the speed ratings, to really make him a big go. And and 240 to 205, I can see why they backed him. Let's move on to Tentaris, race 4, which was another big go at Caulfield. Let's just go and have a quick look at the flux and then see what I've thought of him and how I found him. I think I'd Raging Force closest to a bet, which looked home and then got run down. But as you can see, the tab put up $3.70 early. Didn't last long. It actually lasted 60 seconds before being into 320, and then proceeded to just keep firming. What did Ladbrokes do? They bet 310, and then was very solid around that 270, 240 mark on race day, 260 and into about 240. But it was really, really solid go, and the only horse I believe that they really wanted to be on in the race. Raging Force was a bit easy. Let's get back over to the King Zone and see what I said that race. So I had Raging Force on top of Magor. Tentaris I put in for third pick. I must have had longer in the prices. Let's go and have a look at the factors and see what I missed. I had 290, was 250 official off mine, 250 into 230, 420. They didn't really back anything else, as you can see. 420, not much money from Magor. Raging Force got to 480, a little bit of money. The bottom one was really well backed. Actually, She's an Alibi. I had 40s, was 18 into 10. If you're a layer and you see this, these are the ones to sort of get something out of if you can get them on Betfair and what was it, around 12, 13. Those are the ones I really like laying those horses when I've got them a lot, and you can lay them shorter than that high price. You can get them in at 12 or 13. Go get a monkey out of them. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful way to bet. But wait till they firm. Getting back to what I was talking about is Tentaris. So what are we dealing with here? Class edge again, race pressure, peak rating last start, even though you wouldn't have thought it. Fitzy was very bullish on Tentaris, and he was correct, and rank 2 acceleration at the moment. So let's get back over to the analysis and have a look. What I'm going to do here now is put in, once again, the class edge, which we saw. So I'm going to switch over. We had class edge. What do we have class edge here? I'll just reset it. That's the best way. So we had class edge. Oh, I know what it is. I put 90 or above. But now we've got class edge, which I'm going to run with race pressure. So class edge here, these are just factors. Once again, nothing to do with official tips or selections. This is just factors. So class edge by itself showed a profit of 0.5%. So if you've got a class edge with the race pressure, so Tentaris was going to sit off speed, Raging Force, I think, was going to go forward. Did we have it a very fast? I'm just checking. We had it fast, not very fast. And it's suited. You can see off the race pressure, Tentaris was the number one race pressure. Let's run that and see how we go. That's 9.3. There's been 1,600 bets in that scenario with a profit of 9.3% there as well. So sometimes it's not just about the official tips or the selections. You can match these factors up, and you can match these factors up down here and have them suit your own stuff. Have them suit your own stuff, what you look for, what you like. And I'm going to continue to add to these factors as well. If there's anything in particular that you want and you think I should put in, let me know in the comments. And also anything you want to test that I've already got in there, or anything you think I'm missing with any of these horses that I can test, find the results, and then put in, let me know. I'd love to know, get inside your guys' head and know what you're thinking and see if we can discover some of these factors ourselves as well. Let's get over to another race over at Randwick. I think that was it for Caulfield. Let's get to Randwick. Race 5, Clear Thinking. So let's go check the flux with Clear Thinking. Randwick race 5 and just have a look what happened there. And then we'll go and see. It was a good go-to, Gallant Star. Early they put up 10-1. But Clear Thinking, $6. Sat there for a while and then firmed the day before, 5 into 460, 440, but really solid, 440 into about 380 on race day as well. $6 into 370. Ladbrokes bet 650 actually. So 650 into 370. Let's go have a look at Clear Thinking and see what price I had, or did I have it in the selections? Second behind front page. We're on Highway Strip. I'm not sure how it went, but I know that Highway didn't win. It's cost me a lot of money, that horse, actually, Highway Strip. Clear Thinking, I had 480, so I wasn't against Clear Thinking. Had a second pick, 480, opened 460, got to 460, so not too far away, but didn't have it short enough. Well backed into 370 and got the money. As you can see, there were a lot of positives for Clear Thinking. Rank 1 class speed weight, rank 1 acceleration, won a trial, ideal distance, peak rating last start, loves the distance, and race pressure tick. The negative was a negative gear change. I'm not sure what happened there with the change, and also mapped to get a long way back. I never like horses that are going to get a long way back. But if I am going to back a horse that gets a long way back, I do want that race pressure tick there as well. Fast pace up front, drawn barrier 13, can come down the middle of the track. what I'm going to put through and go and match up here with clear thinking, I want to go and have a look at the ideal distance and just see how that one goes on its own. So let's go back here. Let's get back over here and just reset this again. Nothing up the top. And let's just go and have a look how ideal distance goes by itself. And then we're going to put a couple of these other factors in for clear thinking and see what happens. So ideal distance by itself. So there's been 11,000 horses who've had ideal distance. And they're showing a negative minus 3.8% ideal distance by itself. So what I'm going to add to this now is the race pressure again. So now you've got an ideal distance, but you've got a race shape or race pressure that's going to suit this horse. So off a slow pace, it's probably going to sit on pace. Off a hectic pace up front, which we're predicting in this race, it's going to sit off pace. As you can see, when I put those together, so race pressure and ideal distance, you have bets down 1,700 from 11,000. It's only 15% of bets, but 5.6% profit. Now, what if we put the number one rating in for the class speed weight as well? So now you've got horses racing at their ideal distance that are suited by the race pressure and have the number one class speed weight rating that clear thinking did have. And we run that, and it is going to show a profit of 12%. We're down to 242. But you can see by adding those factors together that they can produce a profit. And once again, I'm picking horses that were big goes in the market, and I'm picking horses that I didn't find. The last one I want to go and have a look at is Chio Wolf, and I want to do this from an overlay perspective. So I'm going to go back over to the King Zone for Saturday. I'm going to go to Randwick race. I think it was race 7. It's race 9. Sorry, the King Charles. Race 9. So Chia Wolf beat Brightside and also Pierre, who ran a big race. Pierre, my selections, I had Fangirl from Lake Forest, from Jenny, from Chia Wolf. Let's go and have a look at the overlays and the bullet price against the high price. So that is what is deemed to be an overlay. But I want to talk about, and I'm going to show you this when I run. So I'm going to run quite a lot of analysis here on the overlays just to have a look. So this is $8. I had Mr. Bright. So I got to 5 into 460. Chia Wolf, I had $9. I had that from the open as an overlay. And this is what's important when you're, and I'll go through this when I talk about the overlays as well with the analysis. But now while I'm looking at it, I'm going to mention it now and I'll mention it again after. When you're looking at overlays, look at the bullet price against the open price more so than the bullet price against the live price. Both do matter. High matters, but open matters. So if you're looking to just identify the chances, that I think that's the best way to do it. An example of a bet that I wouldn't have would be bullet price $8, Mr. Brightside. TKZ open 480, so I'm pretty heavily against it. High price $14 if it was. Live price $13. So it's gone from 14 into 13, but I had it at 480. Yes, it's an overlay, but it's a big drifter. It's a big drifter in the market. Market's against it pretty much to drift from 480 to 14. This live price is factored into this bullet price, and it doesn't get updated on a regular basis because it's going to be too confusing. So without confusing everything too much, there's a factor of a fraction of this live price that's included into the form. So if I was to come back and update this live price, if it was $15 into 14, the bullet price it'd be longer. It might be around that 14, 15, maybe 16, 17 even, because the live price is pushing it out. So bear that in mind when you are looking for overlays. Avoid big drifters. Avoid big drifters that I didn't have short or close to the mark. So for a horse like Lake Forest, for example, was 6 here, the high price was 12 and it was into 10. I'd say no problem. That's fine. I'd be on that horse. Probably if I was, looking for overlays. Lake Forest was well backed, as we said on the Saturday set. I think $7.50, $8. They might have bet 750 and was smashed into 440 at the end. It looked the right bet price wise to me. So the two overlays in this race, which are put up here, you can go quickly to the Pier was there as well. Fangirl, Chia Wolf, and Pier. Let me just go and check Pier. I didn't realise that was an overlay. So Chia Wolf was an overlay. 6 against 6, no. 50s. Pericles I was against, 18 into 950. Against 950. Yellow Brick, none. Pier, 23, 26, 46, 46. So this is a horse that, like I'm saying, if you're betting off the overlays, that's a horse that I could definitely entertain at a big price. I didn't back it. I didn't end up betting the race. I was going to have something on Lake Forest, but then it didn't end up betting in the race. Even though I did have some overlays there, I didn't bet. I was worried about Geo Wolf's current form. Missed a trick there with the blinkers going on for Joe Pride. Bit dirty at myself that I didn't that I missed that. But I still found the horse in terms of having it shorter. So that was good. Fangirl, I would have been on it probably as well, but I was worried about that barrier 11 getting too far back and her ability to sprint off a fast tempo. But we did have 370 against $4 out to 550, back into 460. Jenny, I had on the money 6 against 6. Within the law, ended up an overlay as well. As you can see, 21 against 19. Yeah, if you're punting up prices, you probably make a nice little book. Within the law, small. Pier, you might have something on. Fangirl, you definitely be on. Chia Wolf, you definitely be on. Let's get over to the King Zone and just run some analysis on the overlays. I want to do, instead of going through the official tips and number one selections, I want to go and have a look at the overlays. So I'm going to leave all this blank. I'm going to clear this. And I'm just going to go and have a look at the overlays, and that's probability difference. So probability difference of minus 200 to minus 1. So that means every horse that was an overlay when at any time. So bullet price against high, it is. Bullet price against high. So Lake Forest, no. Within the law, yes. For example, 21 against that 27, yes. Fangirl, yes. Pier, yes. Lake Forest, no. Geo Wolf, yes. So 4 bets in this race. So there's quite a lot of bets, as you can see. But it's a great little barometer to identify the key chances that I think are decent value at that time. So if we run lovely cup of tea. If we run that, you can see it's showing a profit, not a profit, a loss of 0.5%. That's all of them, 0.5% loss. 14,600 bets. This is what I was talking about before. I'll do it first. Is good value in early betting. Good value in early betting, not late betting, but good value when this comes through. Let me just check if any of these horses had good value in early betting. Yes, Chia Wolf, good value in early betting, 8 against 950. Fangirl. Yes, good value in early betting. I'm not sure what the algorithm is exactly. Let me see if Pier had good value in early betting. Yeah, it did. So maybe it's just an overlay. Good value in early betting. So these are the horses that were good value in early betting, which means that they were an over at the time when the form was released, and some drift, as you can see. I'm not saying charge into all these overlays straight away, because as you can see, Pier, 23, 26 when it was released, got to 46. Look at Fangirl, 370 was $4, good value in early betting, but it doesn't mean that we charge in straight away and back it. You still got to get the right odds and still got to try and get as close to that 550 as possible, which is the hard, it's not easy. That is the hard part. And that's the skillful part of betting, getting the 46, but just lining up like Chia Wolf, 950, 950, 950, back into 9. Let's see what it was at the end there. If we're just looking at those, it's race 9. Just looking at in terms of SP sort of prices. Chia Wolf, see, if you shop around a bit, you're 950 into 9 with mine, but there was 10 here, there was 10 here, there was 11 Betfair. Fangirl did firm up a bit, 460 Ladbrokes leading the way. Pier, $85 on Pier with Pier. I've got like 46. So you can see there was 61.85. I'm not taking the complete, top price all the time for those prices. So you can shop around and get a little bit better sometimes. Sometimes you get a little bit worse. But my point is what I was making before, and I can't run it if it's not good value in early betting, but then became good value later on. But these horses that are good value in early betting are the ones that I like most. So as you can see there, we got that sample size down. I think it was 11,000 before, down to 4,500, which is still a shitload of bets. And you're showing a profit of 8.6%. Let's just have a look how they go on a Saturday, because I know that a lot of you guys are getting this on Saturday as well. So nothing to do with tips, just good value in early betting on a Saturday. I'm not sure how that, still good, 7.3, 1,500 bets, 7.3. Let's take out good value in early betting and just have a look at overlays as they are. So horses that were unders then became overs, mixed in with good value in early betting as well on a Saturday. Small profit, 0.8%. So I'm just going to get rid of Saturday there. I'm just going to continue on with this. I'm just going to show you if horses aren't, so the difference. So if these horses are not good value, then let's see how we go backing them. So minus 7.3, 21,000. So 21,000 minus 7.3, 12% hit rate against, I think this was showing a loss of minus 0.5%, and the hit rate would have been higher because they're more in the market. So 14,600 minus a half. So you can see the difference there between the two, but definitely that in early betting is important, which I just spoke about. Let's stick with this. So these are horses that are overlays off the bullet price compared to the high price. Let me just quickly run through these factors with you as well, really quickly, just so you can see them. A lot of them aren't going to be profitable, but I'm just going to quickly run through them. So ideal distance with an overlay, 0.3%, break square. Jockey edge, I think it does poorly. Let's run it and have a quick look and see what jockey edge is showing. Minus 7.3. No good jockey edge with an overlay. Unsuitable tempo last start. I'm going to add to these positive factors and the negative ones as well. As I said to you before, if you want something in there, let me know. I'll see if I can do it. If I think it's going to add value, I'll put it in. Break square, unsuitable tempo last start. Weight drop. So here you go, backing overlays who are a weight drop. Nothing in that. Small loss. Easier race. And we spoke about easier race being a bit better in the high class races as well. That's showing a very small profit. So you can see a lot of these aren't adding a lot of value. I think probably race pressure will. So these are overlays where the race pressure is suited on the day. 3% profit, 2,500 bets. Peak rating last start, which is not normally a good one to follow, but it's an interesting one to know because the market finds these horses. 2.4% overlay. That's a peak rating. 2.4% profit. Class edge. So this is the one more so that have been the big goes on the Saturdays that I've noticed. When I've got class edge, they've been good goes. 4.2% profit overlay with a class edge. Let's just have a look at that on a Saturday. I'm not sure what this is, just out of interest. So this will include country and provincials as well. Country and provincials on a Saturday. Class edge overlay, 4.3% profit. Let's just go and put in the 90 here, which means it's a decent class race. And just have a quick look. It's not going to be a huge sample size, but I'm just interested in the result. 9%, 55 bets, 9 winners, 9%. All right, we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of Saturday. And we'll keep going here. So these are overlays with horses trained at the track. And see how we go backing them. Horses that are trained at the track that the race is at 2,000 minus 3.4, no good. upside factor, overlays with an upside factor. As we discussed in previous episodes, they're often well backed early, these horses. As soon as the tab puts their market up, minus 2.8%, nothing there. Good value on early betting, I did. And excuses last start. Let's have a look. At excuses last start, we don't make excuses on this show about our losses, but we need to do something about that. Minus 3.7%, 529 for horses who had excuses last start and are an overlay. What I want to finish with now is just having a look at the degree of overlay. So this is measured in percentage terms against, which I've talked to you about before, but it's measured in percentage terms against the price. So the percentage, the bullet price, percentage of 8 against the percentage of 4.6. That's worked out as 100 divided by 8. And the difference between 100 divided by 8 and the difference between 100 divided by 4.6 is the percentage of the overlay. So it's Caulfield Cup. We can get rid of that. Let's get back over here and have a look. So if there's higher percentage, let's just see how we go. So the bigger overlays, minus 100 to minus 10. Minus 100 to minus 10. Let's run this and have a look. So these are the bigger overlays. So the bigger overlays, there's 772 of them, and they win 8.7% profit compared to, let me have a look, if I go minus 9.9 to minus 1, this won't be as good because there was a negative profit there before. Overall is minus negative half, so that's minus 1.6. So you can see there's 13,800 of them against, there's not that many 10% profit overlays, but they did show nothing to do with good value in early betting, but they did show a profit of 8 or 9%. So there's a bit of analysis for you. I showed you the official tips at the start. Now, next week, there's no grind. I'm going to do episode 3 of the Melbourne Cup challenge. Trying about the winner to win $1 million. Don't know if I'm going to back anything to win $1 million. I hope so, though, because I want to have a crack. It just depends whether I find anything. But looking at that Caulfield Cup, I am getting excited about a few horses at double figure odds. So tune into that. We'll get it out after the Cox Plate. We'll film it on Monday. Hopefully it's out Tuesday. Max bet on Friday. Thursday. Max bet Friday. Cox Plate Saturday. The other thing I want to finish with, we're going to open up Friday for free. Launceston, Moonee Valley, Friday on the King Zone is going to be completely free. So get on there, even if you're not betting. Check out all the metrics, see what would work with your stuff, match it up, have a look, get used to all the ratings and the comments and the bullet prices and all everything else that goes with it. Have a great week. I'll see you Thursday. I'll see you Friday. Stay in the game. Stay in the zone. Go get your bookie. Let's go.
Think, is this a bet you really want to place? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.